Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I bring you a story full of wisdom and reflection, The Fox and the Woodcutter. Get ready to dive into a charming forest tale that teaches us an important lesson about cleverness, consistency, and what it truly means to be helpful. Let's begin. The Fox and the Woodcutter. Deep within an ancient forest, where sunlight filtered through the towering trees and birds greeted the morning with cheerful songs, lived a clever fox named Leora. Her reddish fur gleamed in the early light, and her sharp eyes were always alert to anything unusual. Leora wasn't like other foxes. While most were content hunting or sleeping, she enjoyed watching humans from a distance, especially those who worked hard with their hands. Farmers, shepherds, and most of all, woodcutters. One crisp morning, when dew still clung to the grass and the forest was waking from its slumber, Leora set out on one of her usual strolls. She trotted lightly over roots and rocks, ears twitching at every sound. It wasn't long before she heard the rhythmic thunk of an axe biting into wood. Curious, she crept silently through the underbrush until she reached a clearing. There, she saw a man, broad-shouldered and strong, swinging an axe with practiced precision. Each strike echoed through the forest like a distant drumbeat. The man, named Bruno, was a woodcutter, known for his dedication, strength, and honesty. From dawn till dusk, he chopped wood to sell in the nearby village to support his family. Leora watched him for some time, her tail swishing thoughtfully. Then, with a flash of inspiration, she stepped out from behind a fallen log and walked confidently toward him. "Good day, kind sir," said Leora in her smooth, polite voice. "I see you're working very hard. You must be quite brave and strong to handle all these trees. But tell me, wouldn't you like some help?" Bruno paused, startled by the sight of a talking fox. He wiped the sweat from his brow and stared at her. "Help? From you?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. "What kind of help could a fox possibly offer? You're just a forest animal." Leora smiled, unfazed. "True, I may not have your muscles, but I have wit and cleverness," she replied. "I can sniff out which trees are rotting inside, the ones that would fall with a single chop. That could save you time and effort." Bruno considered this. If she was telling the truth, he might finish his work faster and earn more that day. After a moment of thought, he nodded slowly. "All right, but if you're going to help, you must take it seriously. No games or wandering off." "Of course," Leora said proudly. "I'll be your best helper." And so, they began working together. Leora scurried around the forest, sniffing bark, tapping trees with her paws, and even listening to the sound of wood when she scratched it. Every so often, she'd call out, "Try this one," or "This tree is soft inside." Bruno tested her picks and found, to his surprise, she was often right. For a while, everything went well. But Leora, used to the freedom of the forest, soon grew restless. First, a flutter of butterflies caught her eye, and she chased them through the ferns. Then, a group of rabbits darted past, and she couldn't resist running after them. Later, some birds sang high in the treetops, and she paused to listen, enchanted by their melody. Meanwhile, Bruno kept chopping wood, assuming Leora was still helping. But time passed, and she hadn't returned. Finally, he noticed the silence and frowned. "Fox, where did you go?" he called. Moments later, Leora appeared, panting slightly and looking a bit disheveled. "Sorry," she said. "I got a little distracted. The rabbits were so fast, and the birds, oh, they were singing the loveliest tune." Bruno frowned, not out of anger but disappointment. "And while you were chasing distractions, who do you think was doing all the work?" Leora lowered her gaze, ears drooping slightly. "I didn't mean to leave you. I couldn't help myself. But I'm back now. I can still help." Bruno leaned on his axe and sighed. "Leora, you're clever, no doubt about it. But cleverness is no use if it disappears when things get hard or boring. Good help is dependable. It's there not just when it wants to be, but when it's needed." The fox stood in silence. His words struck deeper than she expected. All her life, she had prided herself on her quick thinking, her cleverness, her charm. But now she saw something else was needed, something she hadn't valued before: reliability, effort, and dedication. "You're right," she admitted quietly. "I thought being smart was enough. But now I see that it isn't, not always. Thank you for teaching me that. Bruno gave her a small nod, not harsh, just honest. Everyone learns, Leora. Even the clever ones. Remember, the forest doesn't just reward the cunning. It rewards the consistent. And with that, he turned back to his work. Leora left the clearing slowly, her thoughts swirling like autumn leaves in the wind. She walked for a long time, reflecting. From that day forward, though she remained as clever as ever, she tried to also be more present, more dependable. She learned that brilliance was only part of the story. What truly made a difference was the effort behind it. Moral: cleverness and intelligence are valuable, but without consistency, reliability, and effort, they won't lead to lasting success. And that's the end of today's story. I hope you enjoyed it and take with you the message that intelligence is valuable, but effort and consistency are essential. If you like this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.